If you've been on the spiritual path for a little while, or if you've more recently awakened, you may get to a place where you have very little interest in worldly pursuits anymore. You may speak to friends and family and they're like, oh, I'm doing this thing, or I'm going on this holiday, and you just don't have that same excitement for it. You've not got that interest there. You have no interest in wanting to visit other places or have different experiences and do these things. You become kind of empty, and it can be quite confusing, especially if you're more recently awakened and you're probably reflecting and thinking, is there something wrong with me? Is this normal? Is this normal to be feeling uninterested in what's around me and pursuits that other people are interested in? Why do I not have that same interest? It can be really confusing, especially if you've got a family or a partner and they're like, let's go and do this thing, we always used to do that, and you're like, we did, but I'm just not, that same person is not here anymore. It can be really disorientating and confusing, and I wanted to make this video today to hopefully bring about some clarity and some comfort to you, to reassure you that that is perfectly normal. And for those people who have expanded, and it may be just a random awakening, it may be a lot of inner work that you've been doing, you might have been meditating and doing things like this, you will reach a point where the desires for the world drop away. Your interest in the world drops away, and you have no real desire to go and do things. You don't have a desire to make more friends, to go on holiday. There's no particular hobbies that you're super interested in. Whereas, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, you were fully immersed in all of that. And you're like, what's going on? Is this okay? It is okay. It's perfectly normal. It's perfectly natural. One way that I would try to kind of explain it is, if you were in school in year 1, in the UK we have reception year 1 all the way up to year 11 and then beyond. And if you were in year 1 but you were kept in year 1 for like 3-4 years, you would not be interested in the topic anymore. You wouldn't be interested in like the same tools or the same games that the kids play at that age, because a part of you has outgrown it. And it's very much like that with living in the world but growing spiritually. There's a part of you that is starting to, or has outgrown, this level of consciousness. Your being is ripe enough that it doesn't need more experience of the world anymore. We come here to get experience, and then once we've got the experience, we move on. Some souls are here and they're still gathering experience, and that's perfectly fine. But you are likely at a point where you're now ripe enough to not need any more experience. You've awakened and you're ready to move on, but you still need to put in the work. You still need to meditate each day. You still need to aspire for truth. You still need to, study perhaps. You still got to put in the work. I'm not saying that you just need to stop and that's it. But what I'm saying is that there's a part of you now that has outgrown the world. You've let go of a lot of the chains that are keeping you here, and you're starting to actually feel more freedom. That freedom can be misconstrued as emptiness, or as a lack of kind of life in a way. You can seem a little bit boring to some people or uninteresting, but all it is that you've outgrown this level. If I was 16 years old and a 10-year-old wanted me to go and play a game that they were interested in, I might not be interested in it because I've outgrown it. I'm not at that same point in my journey anymore. 6 years before I would have been into it perhaps, but now I've moved beyond it. Same is the case for spiritual development. And it doesn't mean that anyone is better than anyone else. It just simply means that someone else is at a different point in their journey, and you're at a point in your journey now where you've moved beyond the need for experiences in the world. And the fact it's actually a positive thing. The fact that you've let go of these desires, whether that's conscious or it's just natural, generally it happens naturally as you grow, that is a very, very good thing. It's a very good sign that you're closing the gap to truth. You're actually getting closer to truth now. You're not so attached to the world. The world consumes us. And our job, it's like, You know, it's like unsticking ourselves. It's like untangling ourselves from a web. The more of the legs that we pull on, I don't know, the more of the parts of us that we detach from this web, the more free we feel. But we also feel less drawn to the web again, because we know of the dangers of being attached to it. So I wanted to make this video really just to bring about more, hopefully, comfort to you and confidence, and reassure you that if this is how you're feeling, the likelihood is that it's perfectly natural, perfectly normal. You don't need to be concerned. You just need to adjust to this new way of being. And it might be that you have to do things that you don't really want to do sometimes. You know, if you're in a relationship, sometimes you'd have to play the game of going and doing what they want to do and being a bit selfless and sort of doing it because that's the right thing to do, not just doing what you want to do all the time. So it's an adjustment, and I hope the video helps you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.